Alright, we're done trimming and we're ready to glue this up. Got our hot glue ready to go. Oh yeah. Fresh batch of hot glue. Hide glue, the traditional method used for thousands of years. Very strong glue. This cello was glued 100 years ago and it took me hours to get this apart. Hours. You have to be very careful, of course, so you don't ruin the wood, but the glue is very strong. So this rib is loose from here to here because we took this apart, trimmed it down, took the 2 millimeters off. We have put these in place to make sure that this lines up when we glue it back together. And we have that nice extra edge there now. So, for no further ado, we'll see if we can get this glued up. Got our clamps ready. And we put a little hot water in there. Although it's still somewhat not completely dry from when we took it apart. It always helps to add a little moisture. Make sure we get some down here. At first we're just going to glue it from here to here. Then when we get that set, we'll glue the rest of it. Alright, looks like it's nice and moist in there now. Make sure we don't have any splinters or dirt in the way. Oh, there's a little chip or something. I can get that out of there. Alright. Make sure I didn't move that at all. I'll loosen these up just to make sure we push it in. Make sure it's plenty tight. Yeah, there we go, right there. That's where we want it. Okay. Now, so we don't have the glue flowing out everywhere, all over the place. Turn this up on the side and drop it in this way. Let's see if we turn it this way so you can see better what we're doing here. Let's put this glue. So the trick is not to drip glue everywhere and get it all over the place. And make sure, of course, that your glue temperature and thickness is proper. The viscosity is, so to speak. Looks like we're getting some good squeeze. Turn some extra light on there. Oh yeah, look right down there. See, there's good coverage. We'll give it one more shot just for insurance. And put some down here under this bottom rib. Okay, now comes the tricky part. Now for glue spatula. Put some extra drippings, plenty of glue coming through there. That's good. Don't want too much though. I think what I'll do is I'll put another one down here. Make sure it's pushed over as far as it's going to go. I've got glue dripping around. Make sure that's all dried off. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll have to pull that in a little bit when we clamp it. Glue likes to slip down, so put a piece of plastic across there so we don't glue the clamp on. Get our recurve caul that matches the curve. Whoops, I didn't have this clamp quite ready. See if we can get it close here. And this is a parallel clamp, so we can make sure it's the same pressure all the way across, up and down. Yep, nice and tight. Oh, let's make sure we pull this in all the way for sure. Oh yeah, that was a little out of whack. I can tell because this little spot here needs to line up where we trimmed the rib, and right here where the center seam is. Alright, that looks pretty good. And because this caul was made for a different cello, we got a little bit of little spot here that doesn't close all the way. And actually, this could move over a little bit. It likes to move. It's moving again. Yeah, now we have a little better squeeze here. You gotta get both ends adjusted so it's perfectly parallel. It's equal pressure all the way up and down. As I was saying, because this caul was cut, we got a little gap here, so we need to clamp that with an auxiliary clamp. Yeah, one on this side. Oh, it's slipping around there. Let's go. One on this side. Maybe I'll put this big one over here. And this little piece of wood is thin enough that it bends, so it'll go form to that curvature. Yeah, there we go. Nice tight fit. I'll get rid of the excess glue here. Excess glue here. pulls out when we clamped it up. It's looking pretty good now. Oh yeah, we want an extra clamp down there. Just to make sure we got good fit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now we can take these 3 clamps here off. I've got this glued from here to here. So we'll put some water in there. And glue it up all the rest of the way. So it stays in place. And you can see we managed to match the original spot for where the rib goes. Okay, now I'll get some more glue in there. Put the water in there, it draws the glue in. My process of, I can't remember what it is, just water chasing the open spot. And it's a little easier to glue these seams when you have the instrument open, because you can see how much glue you got in there if it's going all the way through. And looks like we got plenty of glue there now. There are other ways to do that if you're real careful, but doing it a little bit at a time. But the glue dries fast, so you gotta work with a bit of speed. Okay, that back, because make sure we got all the glue off of there. We don't want any excess glue on the clamps around the instrument, because that can pull away the varnish if it dries on the varnish. Okay, nice and dry. Put these guys back where they go, where they were. And this needs to go in just a little bit. You do get out of shape, so to make sure it lines up right, you got to push and pulls here and there sometimes. Okay, now I'm going to put some more clamps on there. Oops. Let's move this out of the way a bit. You can see why I was putting newspapers down. I get filled with glue. Some people like to put clamps neck to neck, shoulder to shoulder. But if it fits well, you can leave a slight gap in between them. Yeah, looks like we should move these over. We'll have room for one more clamp here. The more the better. and equal pressure all around. Of course, you don't want to over tighten them and bend the rib. Just tighten enough. That was not tight enough. Okay, let's make sure they're all equally tight. And we'll clean the excess glue from the inside and the outside. Of course, when the top's on, you can't clean it out of the inside, so you gotta make sure you use just the right amount when you're doing it on an already assembled cello. All right. There we go, nice and clean. And now we'll clean the outside here. So if you wait till it dries, it's a lot harder to clean up. And a lot of amateurs don't clean it up at all. They just let it sit there. It's awful. Yep, when it's been sitting for about 5 minutes, it starts to coagulate. Makes it a little easier to clean up. You can use a wooden stick, but if you use one of these metal spatulas, it works alright as long as you're careful. You don't want to scratch the varnish. Now take a sweat rag, fish it around with that. Get the last little vestiges. Yeah, I missed a little spot there. Here we go. And there you have it. Rib all glued up. And tomorrow we'll take the clamps off. Do the same thing for the other side. This one here. This one, the rib's already half off. So, same process on the other side so we can get both ribs the right length. There you go.